Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Speedy boy, could you please tell me your name? Oh, Randy. Hey, Randy. How are you? All right, so it's 10:59, so we have 1 minute left, so we'll wait for a minute to get started while I get everything together. Good job, Randy. Good job. I'm glad you're on here. All right, so it is 11. So maybe I'll wait for like 1 more minute to get started since you're the only one here. And then we'll get started. So, Randy, have you been in your other classes? Participating in live? Good job. Good job. Good job. All right, so I'll give them 1 more minute so we can start. All right, so it is 11:01, and you are the only one here, but we're going to get started, though, so we can cover everything today, okay? So I'm going to, Randy, did you see the do now? Well, I just posted it about maybe 30 minutes ago, but I'm going to flip it over so you can see. Hold on 1 second. All right. All right, so I'm going to flip over the camera. All right, so today's do now is, what is negative space? And Randy, if you could just answer in the comment section. Were you in the live last week? Because we for the last 5 weeks we covered a conflict unit dealing with conflict in art. And so last week we started this new unit. So just wanted to know so I can catch you up. All right. So today's do now is, what is negative space? So if you comment below and let me know. We did talk about this last week. I wanted to say yesterday, but we talked about this on last Tuesday. What is negative space? That's the do now. So I'll give you a few minutes to kind of type it in. Participation is well needed, so please make sure you're participating while we're in a live, okay? So what is negative space? If you want to, you can comment, or you can use the box that has the question mark in it. Hello, good morning, Liz. Good morning. Let me see. Okay, I got it. All right. Welcome, Liz. So we are doing the do now to start us off. I know you were in our live session last week. So I was letting Randy know that for the past 5 weeks, we were working on conflict and 3 forms of conflict. And last week was our first new unit, which is negative space and positive space. So I'll kind of go over it again today. But today's do now is, what is negative space? So I'll give you guys a few minutes to please answer it. I would like you to, so I can give you guys participation points for being here and participating in our live session today. So what is negative space? What is the space on a canvas or piece of paper that will be considered negative? Good morning. I'll give you guys a few more minutes. That's funny. All right, nobody is commenting on this do now. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. Miss you too, honey, as well. All right, so what is negative space? Anybody? Yes, thank you, Liz. You can definitely be my helper. Absolutely. All right, so what is negative space? We talked about it last week. If we had a sheet of paper and we were to thank you. Negative space in art is the space around and between the subjects of an image. That is absolutely correct. That is so, yes. A negative space is positive space. Oh, okay. Is joining us today. 34, go live. Please let me know your name. Who is this? Who is that? That was an awesome answer. That is so correct. Good morning, Liz.
Good morning, Miss Henderson.
How are you?
Good.
I'm so glad you participating and volunteering. That is so wonderful. So you just stay on here with us, and then just throughout our live and presentation today, then I'll just kind of ask you questions so that you can help me out. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go back to that answer. Negative space in art is the space around and between the objects and the image. That is absolutely correct. All right, so that is exactly what negative space is. All right, so that was our do now. Before I move on, anybody in the live have any questions about negative space or want to comment or add anything to that answer before we move on? Everybody got it? All right. All right, so I'm going to move on to what we're doing today. So this week is week 7. Today we're going to talk about positive versus negative space like we did on yesterday. Good morning. Good morning. All right, so good morning, Mr. Taylor. So today, negative and positive space. Today is Tuesday, May 5th. 2020, and our class is from 11 to 11:45. So welcome to week 7. We are already in week 7. We only have a few more weeks left. So we're almost there, but this is week 7. So I can't believe we've been doing this for 7 weeks already. But welcome to week 7.
Do we need our pack?
Do
we need our pack?
Yes. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to get to a point where if you guys want to draw with me, you can, and it'll be like later on, a little bit later on. But you can, even if you're in the live, you can get a piece of paper, white paper, and a pencil or a pen, marker, whatever you have, crayon, whatever. All right. All right, so we just went over to do now. We know that negative space is the space in the area that is not being utilized. It's the space that's around an image or object and a piece of work. All right. All right. So what will we cover today? Today we are covering positive and negative space in art. And then I'll go back and kind of cover what we talked. Well, actually, Liz, I'll have you volunteer in a minute and just kind of give a recap from last week, since last week was the first week that we started this unit or this lesson. All right.
Okay.
All right. So Liz, you mind reading for us?
Okay. Students will study the technique of creating negative space. This will develop creating negative trading cards. Artists cards are an accessible way to share your art with students will trade their cards via.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. All right. So I'll just reread it just in case anybody, if it sounds choppy to you. But today's summary: students will study the techniques of creating negative space art. This will develop into students creating negative space trading cards. So by week 9, which it should be the last week, you guys are going to about week 8, I should say, you're going to create trading cards that consist of negative and positive space. All right. Artist trading cards, a small and accessible way to share your art with others. So we all know what a trading card is. It's about that size. Students will create the trading cards, and then you guys are going to mail them to your classmates. Okay. All right. So moving right along, positive versus negative space. Positive versus negative space. Positive space refers to the main focus of a picture, while negative space refers to the background. All right, so I'll read it again. Positive space refers to the main focus of a picture. So the main image or painting, well, I should say painting, the main image that you're looking at will be the positive space. All right, and anything that is in the background will be the what? Anybody? Type it in. The main picture will be the positive space, and in the background will be the what space?
The negative.
Yes, thank you. It would be the negative space. So when used in art, positive and negative space both work together and can tell a story using visual composition alone. All right. So in art, actually, you can use positive and negative space combined. Anybody have any questions about that? Anybody has any questions about positive versus negative space? One space takes up the paper, the other one is like the background of the paper or canvas that is not being utilized. So they're going against each other, but actually in art you can use them together. All right. No questions, comments. All right. Our week breakdown. You who can't hear? Oh, all right. So Liz, when you aren't talking, just put your speaker, the microphone on mute so they can hear me. And then when I call you, you can just take it off, okay? All right, so week breakdown. Week 6 was last week. We talked about negative versus positive space. Today is week 7, so we're going to talk about further development between positive and negative space skills. And then for the last 2 weeks, we're going to talk about artist trading cards, the introduction into those. And then week 9 is the final week, and you all are going to turn in your final projects, which are your trading cards that consist of negative and positive space. Any questions before I move on? All right. All right. So I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to show you guys what we got my example of negative and positive space, and then I will do one. I'll flip the camera over and do one, and then I'll show you a couple other examples, and then I'll show you what else we're doing today. All right. So this is from last week.
So last week, you all were supposed to draw a practice negative and positive drawing. All right. So what you were supposed to do was to grab a small or medium sized object, or you could have just drawn anything, a character or anything, on a piece of paper. Right. Then you draw the outline of the object, and then you were to fold the paper in half. So whatever you drew, you could have used a plain white sheet of paper and then fold it in half, and then you were to draw your image. All right. So one half you fill with positive space of the item, and then the other half would be in the background around the item, highlighting the negative space. So you were to look at your image and identify the positive and the negative spaces in your image. Yes, Liz. All right. So that is what you all were supposed to do. I only got two of them. So those two people got credit. If you did not do it, please give it up, send it to me so I can give you credit for that. But that was your practice drawing. So I have two students that turned theirs in. This one is Liz. So since she's on the live with us, I will let her explain her drawing. So Liz, can you tell us about your negative and positive space, what the drawing is, how did you create it, and all that good stuff.
Uh, okay, I create this by this is Aurora from Sleeping Beauty, and this is Maleficent. So I colored her all dark because that's the positive way, and the white space is the negative space.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So that's pretty cool because you actually combined two characters into one, right?
Yes.
Good job. All right, absolutely. So this is exactly what I was looking for, you all, for those practice drawings for negative and positive space. So Liz actually created a character, or since she combined them, a character or characters, but she did combine hers. So you didn't necessarily have to do a draw. It could have been something really, really simple. But this is a great example of how to use negative and positive space. All right. Anything else you want to add?
No.
Okay, good job, Liz. You did a very, very good job. All right. So that's Liz's example of how to use it. Before I move on, anybody have any questions for her or for me about her drawing? Anybody? All right. So very good job. Get very good, Liz. So I'm going to move to the next one that I received. This is Kelly's in the 8th grade. Um, yes. Yes, you can turn yours in next week. You can either submit it to the school, drop it off, or you can actually take a picture. That's how I got theirs. They drew it and took a picture of it and then sent it to me via DM. You can absolutely do that. All right. So this is Kelly's in the 8th grade. And well, first of all, what is the subject? Type it in. You're welcome. Type it in, guys. What is the subject? Where's my pen? What is this? Anybody know what this is? Good morning. All right, what is her subject in her work? And we know that subject is the image that is the main focal point. Like it's the first thing that we see. It's what stands out. So what is this a picture of? Anybody want to guess?
Of
A
a
squid?
ghost.
Yes. A ghost maybe. Maybe octopus. Yes. So whatever this is actually that it would be the subject, right? So what she did was she drew her image. She took the paper, just like I showed you guys. A plain sheet of copy paper is significant enough. That's all you need. Folded it in half, and then she drew it, right? So she actually probably folded hers twice. So she would have one, two, three, four boxes. Okay. So once she drew the particular subject, she started off with one box. And what this part right here that is not colored would be the what space? Is this positive or negative?
Negative.
This is negative space. And in the background of this box is the what space?
The positive.
Yes, this is positive space because it's taken over it by utilizing colors with it. All right. So in this box, she flipped it and switched it. So the background on this one is her negative space. And then inside of the image here is her positive space because she colored it. All right. Same thing with this one. It's just like this box. This is the positive space. This is the negative space because it's not utilized. It's not colored or anything. And then this would be on this one. This will be the negative space, and this part of the image will be the positive space. Anybody have any questions about this? Good morning. For those who just joined, I'm going over some student practice drawings for their positive and negative space so that everyone can kind of understand how the unit will be done. And then you can understand how to use actual positive and negative space in art. Any questions, comments, concerns? No? Okay. All right. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to go back. All right. So if you were not here last week, this is my example of what I did for positive and negative space. My drawing is an abstract drawing because it's not a particular subject like hers is an actual subject because it's a drawing of something. Mine is not actually a drawing of anything, but it is known as abstract drawing. All right. So I did a negative and positive space in an abstract form using geometric and organic shapes. So I basically did mine just like Kelly's. You fold it 4 times. So you have 4 boxes. You draw the design or the image, and then you break it up by boxes. So this first box, the negative space is this right here. And then this is the positive space. And then I just alternated in the other box. So since the top one was the positive space, this one was the negative space in the background, and then the geometric forms were the positive space. And then the other side, I just flipped over the rotation of how I colored it. All right. Anybody have any questions about mine? Nobody? All right, so those are some examples for you. So I did another one. Very, very simple, guys. You don't have to do anything that's like too, simple. But this one I chose is a heart. And I fold my paper in half, chose whatever side I wanted to be my negative space, which is this space, and then my positive space is on the other side. And what I didn't color on this space, I left white on the other side. All right, so I'm actually going to flip it over, the camera over. I'm going to let Liz stay on. I'm going to flip it over so you guys can see me do one real quick. All right. All right, so I'm going to do this one. You guys can see. Just to give you an example. So all you need is a blank sheet of copy paper. And you're going to fold it in half. Make sure your crease is perfectly straight. And then you're going to open it up. So it looks like this. All right. So I already pre-drew mine to make it the video this faster, but I pre-drew it. So I am going to color it in just so you guys can see. Okay. And I'm running out of markers. So I'm going to use a crayon, but you can use crayons or markers. So I'm just going to use a black crayon, and I'm going to pick whatever side I want to start off. So I'm actually going to start on this side. Okay. So bear with me while I do it. And then in the meantime, if anybody has any questions, let me know. So I'm just going to color one side really fast so you guys can see how I'm doing it. Good morning, Aaliyah. Welcome. All right. So what I'm doing basically is I colored one side of the heart, right? So that is my positive space. All right. This is going to be my negative space, that outline around it. So what is this space going to be, positive or negative? Anybody?
Positive.
Yes. This is going to be positive. So what am I going to do to make this space positive?
Color everything black.
Yes. Good morning, Kelly. I just showed your example of your drawing. I'll go back to it so that you can see it. But I'm doing one now so that everybody understands how to create negative and positive space. So I am coloring. Right now, so that when you guys do your practice ones, because I only have 2, but when you do your practice ones, you know how to do it. And then you guys are going to just submit it to me. You can basically just send it to me like Kelly and Liz did. Just take a picture of it and send it to me so I can give you guys credit for your practice one. All right, so this is not the best, guys, because I am doing it in a hurry, but this is just so you can get an understanding. All right, so here is my positive space. Here is my negative space, the outline of the heart, and in the background is my positive space. So remember last week we talked about symmetry. So symmetry is when both sides of something are equally the same on both sides. So the easiest way to create symmetry would just be to fold your paper in half. And when you do that, no matter what image you draw, then you know that both of your sides are equal. Okay? So now that we did one side, what color is, no, not what color, but what type of space is this on this side, positive or negative? Good morning, Miss Proctor. Is this positive or negative?
Negative.
Yes. Why?
Because it doesn't have any color in it. And when it has a black color in there, that means it's a positive way.
Yes. So someone asked, is white negative? Yes, the white space is negative, but I'm going to show you guys something else, how to use it with other colors besides just black and white. But if you're looking, if the work is just black and white, yes, whatever is white will be negative. Okay. All right. So this is negative, and then this part is going to be positive because we left it negative around the heart on this side. All right. So I'm going to color this side black. So it's basically alternating your colors is what you're doing. All right. Very easy, guys. All right. So then there you have it. Very simple. That's negative and positive space. All right. So this is my pre-drawn one. And then this is the one I just did. All right. So simple. All right. Now, so someone asked a good question about using white. If you're doing black, you're going to leave whatever white is negative, right? But you can also add color, right? So for this one, you would choose as the artist which color will be considered the negative or positive space. None of you all would know that because I mean all of it is colored. But if I said, hey, look, orange is going to be my negative space, then whatever I left white originally, then I colored orange. All right, and you just kind of do the opposite on this side. So you're just flipping it over. But these are two examples of how to use negative and positive space using black and white images, and then also using color. All right. Any questions? Nobody's question. All right, I'm going to flip it over real quick. So for those who just joined, these are my student practice drawings using negative and positive space. This one was created by Kelly in the 8th grade. And this one was created by Liz, who drew a character, or actually a combination of two characters, divided her paper up one side. Where's my pen? So I can. This is her negative space. This is her positive space in the image. This is her negative space. And then this is her positive space. All right. And then we just broke down Kelly's on how she did hers. Okay. And then I showed you mine. Also, you can do something similar to this. All I did was took a coloring book, my daughter's coloring book, and tore out a page, and I folded it in half. So if you don't want to draw, you don't even have to draw to do this. I folded it in half. One side, I colored spaces using negative space, and the other side, whatever's white, is the negative space. Or yes. All right. So you can use a coloring book to also practice how to use negative and positive space. Okay. All right. Now, any questions before we move on? All right. So please, guys, make sure you turn those into me because this is another part that you're going to have to do. Okay. So this week, you all are going to practice creating a collage with negative space design. All right. So we're still on positive and negative space, but now you all are going to create a collage. And a collage, well, Liz, what is a collage?
It's like, oh my god, I forgot what was a collage.
Anybody want to help Liz out? What is a collage? This word right here.
Oh, I think you use magazines.
Yes.
You use pen and pencil and colors. You use colors when you use them, and I think some materials that you express something.
Yes. All right. So anytime you use anytime that you create a collage or you see the word collage, it's a combination of pictures. Yes, that's absolutely correct. It's a combination of pictures, right? That's if it's going to be 2D. So you use a combination of not just pictures, but it could be pictures. It could be paper that you tear and glue together, magazine pictures. But if you were doing something that was more 3D, then that would be more sculptures. So that would be more like if people found objects and put them together, like maybe like plastic bottles, aluminum cans, and they put it together and make some type of sculpture, then that's 3D collage. But we're talking about 2D. So yes, a collection of pictures or images is a collage. All right. So you're going to make a collage, and all you need are pages from a magazine, 2 sheets of paper, scissors, and a pencil. If magazines are not available, you can color the back or draw your own designs with pen or pencil. So you're going to cut out pages of a magazine into strips. On the first sheet of paper, you're going to glue the strips of the magazine onto the paper. On the second piece of paper, you're going to draw a design and then cut out the negative space and then put the cutout design on top of the magazine strips and glue it together. This is what the district gave us as an example of how to do it, but I kind of came up with my own. So if you want to do something more similar to mine, you can. So what I did was I took a coloring sheet because we don't have any magazines at our house. So I took my daughter's one of her coloring books, which I'm sure she's gonna be very upset about. And I cut out some of the coloring pages to make the collage. Okay, so you can just, if you have any of your brother and sister have coloring books, you can use that as well. So what I did was I cut out an image from her coloring book and I glued it to a sheet of white paper. Okay, so can anybody tell me, is this space right here, is it positive or negative? The white space.
Negative.
This is negative, and I want somebody else to answer besides Liz. Why is this considered negative space? Somebody else who is in our live besides Liz. Why is this considered negative space? Can you do it on a computer? You could use your images from a computer and print it out and cut it out and make a collage that way. This is blank space. So yes, this is why it is negative, because there's nothing in the background. All right. There's nothing there. Now, ultimately, if this was a magazine piece, this would be in color. But this is just an example so you guys can understand. So yeah, so what I did was I created a collage, very simple, using a coloring book image, right? So this is negative space. And then I did another one so that you guys can understand it. So instead of leaving it blank, I created a background, which is now, what type of space is this? What type of space is this? Anybody? So if this one is negative, then this one is what? Yes. All right. So this one is negative. The blank is negative. The blank is negative. All right. Anytime that you're not using the space, it's negative. But since what I did was, and since I colored it and created a background, it's no longer negative. It's now positive space. All right. So this is an example of a form of a collage. Even though it's not a lot of pictures together, it's still a image that I took and glued on top of another sheet of paper. All right. Which also forms as a collage. All right. So I want you guys to understand the different ways that you can utilize positive and negative space. You have your black and white. You have in color, using the same colors. And then you can also do it as a form of a collage. Okay. So what I want you guys to do, if you have not already, I need your practice drawings for your negative and positive space. Just take a picture of them and send them to me via DM. And then this week, you all are going to create a collage. All right. So if you do not have a coloring book, you can actually just draw something and cut it out. Here's another thing that I did. I took the back of my daughter's coloring book and I cut this one out. So you can use whatever you have at home. I'm not telling you guys to go and buy anything. Just utilize what you have at home to create your collage. Okay. So really, all you need is some scissors, glue, so you can glue it down. You can use crayons, or you can also use markers. It's up to you. Anybody have any questions about the assignment? And remember, you these are leading up to the trading cards that you're going to make as the final project. All right. So if you have not already, I need 2 assignments already for week 7. All right. And then even if you don't want to draw, you guys can do something like I did. I just tore her a piece of coloring page out, and then I've divided it up and I colored it. Instead of drawing, you can just color one side, to show your differences between your negative and positive space. All right. Anybody have any questions about the collage? If you have magazines, that would be absolutely perfect. But also, if you want to do it, by the example that a district gave us, you can, and that was to just take like a couple pages from a magazine, cut them up into strips, glue them on a sheet of white paper, and then then a second paper, draw an image, cut that out, and then put it on top of the strips. So ultimately, that's showing how the strips would be the positive space that you took up, so it wouldn't just be white. But that's just an example. You guys don't have to do it like that. You can just kind of do it like I did mine. If you want to use multiple images from your cutouts and glue them on here, you can. If you want to color your background first and then glue it, you can. It doesn't matter. For mine, I actually did do the background first, and then I cut her out, and then I glued her on top. All right. Anybody else have any questions
Miss
about?
Henderson,
Yes, ma'am.
can I show them an example of a drawing that I did?
Yes.
But I'm not really finished with it because I tried to do the color one. Like,
You can still show them.
I needed to finish these 2.
Yes. Oh, looks like you already started a collage. Just by using the strips, cutting those strips out and gluing them on there, that is considered a collage. So I'm gonna let somebody answer that for you. So how would she utilize the background, you all? Or go back to it.
Oh.
All right, so the background is left white. So since she's using 2 colors, similar to this one, since she's using 2 colors, what color will the background be on the orange part of the image? The orange section. Since that is orange, then what color will her background be? Because we can't leave it white. We can't leave it negative. Anybody? The orange side of her drawing, what color will the background be? Because right now it's negative. So what color? If she were to keep the same 2 colors, what color would it be? Green. But she's only using 2 colors. She gave you guys a hint. Red. Yes. That part would be red. And then on the other side of the image, since that side of him is red, then the background is going to be what color? What color? We're taking up our negative space. What color are we going to use? She gave you another hint. It starts with a O. What color? She's only using 2 colors, guys. All right, orange. Thank you so much. Yes. All right, so that side will be orange. Good job, Liz. So so that's when you use negative and positive space with colors. So keep it right there, Liz, so they can see. So we only have 1 minute left. So I want to just kind of make sure that everybody understands. I should have this one turned in. This one was your one that we discussed from last week. If you want to, if you don't want to do the black and white one, you want to do one like Liz where you color it with 2 colors, you can do that. Just take a picture, send it to me. And then this week I want you guys to work on your collages. So don't forget we are in term 4. So you guys have to get your grades for your term for the last term. So turning in your work is how you will get your credit and your grades. So this week, you are going to begin working on the collage. All right. And just send me your pictures so I can give you all class credit that will go on this term. All right. So it is now 11:45. I want to thank Liz so much for participating and being here with us today. As always, I'm going to go back and I'm going to put the slides in and post them, so that you can see the slides on the page. So if you need to go back and refer, then you can. This is week 7. So next week is week 8, and this will be next week. So next week we're gonna start the trading cards. So don't get behind, guys. Okay. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. And you guys have a wonderful rest of the week. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Thank you so much, Liz. And don't forget to send me your drawings, guys. See you later.